Hi guys, it's Nancy, and I wanted to give you my thoughts on the new Spellbinders Color Wheel cardstock, how it compares to the old Color Essentials cardstock. Some of the colors are the same, some are similar. I looked and you can no longer get the Color Essentials cardstock. It's being replaced with the color swatch cardstock. So I'm going to show you guys some of the difference, and the big thing is, can you hot foil it? So I'm going to show you, as always, my honest opinion of the cardstock, and I'm going to show you if you can hot foil it. So first thing first, I did show you guys that there are two swatch dies. I swatched it out, and the way you're supposed to swatch it out is you're supposed to swatch out with the color swatch. If you're supposed to cut out the small part of the swatch in black, the large in white, stamp out the name on the white part, and then you can see the color compared to black and compared to white. I didn't do that. You can go back and watch my video. I was very lazy, and I cut out all of the colors and just stamped them on there, okay? What I like about this is, obviously I can see all the colors, but also I get a feel for all the colors. And that's very important when you are going to be doing hot foiling, because there is definitely a difference in some of the papers and how they feel. Some of them are much smoother in the way that they feel than some of the others. The darker colors especially. Because what do we always say about hot foiling? If you haven't watched my hot foiling hacks video, the darker the paper, obviously the more porous it is in order to accept dye, okay? In order for that paper to be as dark as it is, it has to accept a lot of dye. And I'm going to show you an example here in just a moment. For that paper to be that dark, it has to accept a lot of dye, so it's a little more porous. And so there's a little bit more texture to it. So when you get these papers at home, you can literally feel some of them are just a tad bit smoother than some of the other ones, okay? So another thing that I noticed when I compared some of the color names and some of the colors. So for example, here is Cosmic Sky. So this was previously CS 018 is Cosmic Sky, okay? I don't know what the new color code is for Cosmic Sky. I'll have to look it up. But the new Cosmic Sky, when I looked it up in my color code, so here is, it's not in this pack, it's in the next pack. The Cool Assortment, yeah, in the Cool Assortment, it is the identical same color, and it is that same smooth texture. So some of the colors were carried over, and you can tell they're the exact same papers. They're the same texture, they're the same color. Some of them are not the same. So Cosmic Sky is the same paper. When I pull it out of the pack and I compared them side by side, they are exactly identical, the same. However, some of them are close, but they're not the same. So I pulled out Lilac, which is also in the Cool Assortment. Let me bring out the Cool Assortment here, since it seems to have both of these colors. The Cool Assortment has Lilac, okay? Lilac, however, is not the same as Lilac Blossom. So Lilac Blossom used to be CS 022. I think I have them both cut here. Okay, so this is Lilac, and this is Lilac Blossom. They are similar in color, but they are not the same color, and they are not the same texture. So the new Lilac is one of the new smooth papers, and Lilac Blossom, as you can see, they are off in color, so they are not the same color. And the old one has a little bit more texture to it, so it's just not as smooth. They're both the same weight cardstock. So you can hear they're very good heavyweight cardstock. These papers are excellent for making card bases, making matte layers, die cutting. So in terms of whether you are a card maker, a scrapbooker, a mixed media artist, whatever you like to do, a teacher, anything you like to do with, paper arts, they're excellent in terms of the dye saturation. The dye goes all the way through the paper. But the question is, are they good for hot foiling? That's what we're going to figure out here. The color is different. So the new lilac is not the same as the old lilac blossom. Okay, so that's what I wanted to point out. The other thing is, yes, they do come in the new colors in 8.5 by 11 and 12 by 12. Now, I purchased 12 by 12. Why did I do that? Well, I'll be honest with you, because they sold out of the rainbow hues of the 8.5 by 11 very quickly. I wanted to get as many colors as I could for the bang for my buck. So I bought 3 packs of as many colors as I could get in the 12 by 12. So I purchased, and I will go through the colors for you, the cool assortment, the warm assortment, and the rainbow hues. And when you get the 12 by 12, you get 2 of each colors. So for me, I got more for my money and got a lot of colors. And as a card maker and a scrapbooker, I can use the 12 by 12 as scrapbook pages, or I can cut these down and make card front sizes. So for me, I thought I was getting more for my money, getting a wide assortment of colors without having to wait for the rainbow pack to come in stock in 8.5 by 11. So that was my personal preference. You can certainly wait for the 8.5 by 11 to come back in stock, but I can always cut the 12 by 12 down, or I can use the 12 by 12 for scrapbook pages. But these are all in stock right now, so why should I have to wait when I can have the best of both worlds, in my opinion? And you get 2 of every color in these packs. So let me show you what you get here. So in the 12 by 12 cool assortment, and if you have not swatched your colors yet and you are struggling to what the color names are, by the way, the swatch pack, I don't see that listed. I thought that you could buy the swatch colors. I don't see that listed anywhere, so I don't know if that was something we only got as a design team member or if they sold out, but I don't see that listed anywhere on Spellbinders website, because people are like, well, how do you know what colors you get? But if they do list it, these are in order of what colors they're in, okay? So I will read them to you. So you get Rainforest, and you'll have to excuse me, I'm getting over a cold here. Fern, I love this color. It's almost the color of my new car. Waterfall. So as I go through here, I'm double checking. I was double checking to make sure that I matched up my colors. I'm like, okay, that's Rainforest, that's Fern. All right, I got that right. Okay, that's Waterfall, which are also listed on the website in order as well. So if you went through and watched my How Do You Know What Color to Swatch video, they're in order on the website as well. All right. The next one is Blue Spruce. Okay, it's just like a dark teal. Then we have Breeze. Ooh, almost matches. Blue Spruce is very similar to my nail color. Okay, then we have, that was Breeze. This is Malibu. Cascade. Cosmic Sky, which is a color they carried over. Lavender and Lilac. Okay. So that is the cool assortment of colors. And that is item CSA010. And again, if you click the links down below, I'll have my Spellbinders link. Please click yes to cookies so Spellbinders knows that I sent you their way. And you can buy individual packs. So if you like a specific color, for example, I really liked the Blue Spruce. I bought just Blue Spruce. You can get a 10 pack of 12 by 12 sheets. That is item number CS12 is the size. So 12 by 12, 126. All right. All right, the next one is the warm assortment. So the warm assortment is going to give you Poppy, so that's a bright red. Cranberry is a much darker red. Tutu, Dahlia, Wildberry. I need to take this with me and go makeup shopping because this will be like the perfect color lipstick. Bellini, Coral, true to its name. Sicily, Carrot, and Beeswax. Okay, so that is the warm assortment. Nice, bright, warm colors, as they say. And again, there are a very slight difference in some of the textures here. I want you to keep that in mind because we are going to talk about that. Come on, camera, focus. And that one is CSA 009. And again, you get 2 of each color's 100-pound cardstock. So you're getting 40 sheets of paper here. And they're large. 12 by 12 is going to last you a pretty long time if you're a card maker. Okay. And then the last one I got is Rainbow Hues. Rainbow Hues is going to give you 2 of the Dahlia, which we just saw. Some of these are going to cross over between the 2. So 2 of the Dahlia. 2 of the Bellini. 2 of the Coral, 2 of the Tuscan, 2 of the Rainforest, that's a very pretty green, 2 in the Breeze, 2 in the Malibu, Oceanside. Ooh, I think Oceanside actually matches my nails pretty good. And 2 in Orchid, and 2 in Violet. Okay. All right, so I took a couple of different colors out of here. That was Rainbow Hues, by the way. CSA 011. And there are the names of the colors again for that. Okay. So I took a couple of different colors out of here. And I took them and I hot foiled them off of camera. This was, I think, the February of the month hot foil plate. Now, my plate, for some reason, on one side doesn't foil very well. So this is not necessarily an indication of the paper, but more so of my plate because it kept happening on the right side here. But as you can see, it foiled pretty well. I mean, for the most part, that's pretty good foiling. And it didn't matter if I used... This is the old paper, and I can tell because of the texture, or the new paper, the feeling of the paper. One is much smoother than the other. This one is a little bit more textured, so I think this is the new paper and this is the old paper. Whatever it is, you can tell that it's still foiled pretty well. This is the Cosmic Sky. I think I wrote on the back here, one is the new paper. Okay, so this is the new paper. This is the old paper. Actually, the old paper foiled better than the new paper. But again, I think part of that was just my plate. But here is the Cosmic Sky. It foiled pretty well. Then I did a different plate, and this is rainbow paper, and just did a different color. And you can see this one foiled perfectly. This is just a smoother paper. This one just is immensely much smoother. I could just tell from the texture of it, this is it just felt baby smooth to me, and it foiled perfectly. There is not one part of under or over foiling compared to some of these others. And I could just feel it's just a slight texture difference. And I can't explain it. You just have to touch the paper, okay? Now, these were Glimmer plates. So then I did a Better Press plate, and this was the Better Press of the month from January. These are not necessarily meant for foiling. They're meant for Better Press. I grabbed the smaller butterfly, and the first time I did it, and this is with that blue spruce paper. Okay, blue spruce paper, which is a little bit more textured. This is not nearly as smooth. This paper has a little bit more tooth to it because, again, this is a darker colored paper, so it has more dye in it, but it's not as smooth. I can feel the difference in the smoothness of this paper compared to this paper. This one has more tooth to it. So I was concerned that it wasn't going to foil as well, and that being a Better Press plate, Better Press plates are a little bit thinner. So the first pass I did with it, I didn't take the foil as well. You can see here there's a lot of underfoiling, right? So I thought, okay, let me just add a shim, a paper shim. Not a thick shim, just a regular 60-pound paper shim, you know, like a little piece of stamping paper. So I did that, and look at how much better the results came out. Still not 100%. You see here, still a little bit underfoiled here, but it's much better. Now, is it super smooth? No. And I think that's because of the texture of the paper. But does it hot foil? Yes. Is it the first paper I'm going to reach for when I hot foil? The honest answer is probably not. If you go back and watch my hot foiling hacks, I like to use the super smoothest paper, which would be like a glossier paper, or the Spellbinders brushed metallic paper. Can you still use this? Absolutely. But I would honestly feel the paper and grab the ones that you can feel the difference that are smoother. This paper is much smoother than this paper. So, you know, you really have to feel the texture difference. One is much smoother, almost like glass. The smoothness of it is much smoother versus this one. You can feel the texture difference. And sometimes there are papers out there where one side is smoother than the other. Not necessarily saying that with this paper, but when you are foiling, try to foil on the smoother side. So that's my honest opinion. Is I think because of the color differences, the dye differences, and what they're using, I don't think these are all necessarily coming from the same manufacturer or mill. I think they all come to Spellbinders, but I think Spellbinders is probably using different manufacturers and mills to get you these vibrant colors, and that's great. I'm glad that they are sourcing different papers from different companies. Do I think they're all the same? I don't think they're the same, because you can clearly feel some of these papers are much smoother than some of these other papers, and the ones that are smoother are going to give you better hot foiling results than some of the other papers. So at the end of the day, you're just going to have to try it. And then with your Better Press plates, you may have to shim them. And the other thing is, your die cutting machine is going to make a difference. So if you have an older platinum machine or a big shot machine or whatever you're using, that machine may require a shim versus a newer machine. Your newer machine, a Glimmer machine, may not require a shim. So there's a lot of factors here, and I know that's not what the answer you want to hear is, but you're going to have to experiment with your machine. Foil's also going to make a difference. Here I was using the Aura foil, Glimmer foil, which normally foils pretty well, but other types of foils, depending on if they have add-ins or embeds in them, meaning glitter, shimmers, things like that, they may not as foil as well. Pigment foils. What I mean by pigment foils, the white foil. That foil is notorious hard to foil with because it flakes. So that may not foil as well. So there are a lot of different factors in foiling. You're just going to have to try it and see and come up with different results here. So feel the smoothness of the paper. The smoother it is, the better it is. I think this is great paper for matte layering, card bases, die cutting. So many different things you can do with this. Is it the first thing I would grab for hot foiling? Probably not. Can you hot foil on it? Yes. That's the short answer, but there's so many other things you can do. So I would grab this paper, definitely add it to your paper stash, but I wouldn't grab it just for hot foiling. There's other things you could do with it as well. And don't get your hopes up if your hot foiling doesn't come out perfect. I know a lot of people grabbed it and said, oh, you can hot foil on it, but I always want to try to give you guys the honest answer first. It is a colored porous paper. So can you hot foil on it? Yes. Do I think you're going to get perfect results every time? Probably not. If you want perfect results every single time, I would say grab a glossy colored cardstock, like the Spellbinders metallic brush cardstock. That's going to give you really good results. But this cardstock will give you pretty good results if you grab the smoothest kind. But I would say most of the time you're probably going to have pretty good results is what I would say. You know, as long as you're not expecting perfect results every single time, it'll come out okay. So there's my honest results. Also, I did post in a different video before about the Lisa Horton metallic inks, and somebody said I didn't let it dry long enough. So these have been drying for over an hour. The Lisa Horton metallic inks, not the interference inks, the metallic inks. And I said, I wasn't a fan because the ink does tend to transfer and shed. Now the interference inks do a little bit, but not very much. So I'm not investing in the metallic inks for that same reason. And one of the things I try to pride myself on my channel is I am always honest with you guys. A lot of these things I am sent by Spellbinders as a design team member. You know, the swatches I was sent by Spellbinders. However, all of the paper you guys just saw that I showed you, I bought all of this paper. Okay, so this I buy with my money. So when you guys support my channel, you give me the thumbs up, when you use my affiliate links, all of that money goes back into my channel. And I buy certain things. I bought those papers. I bought the Lisa Horton limited edition inks to try them out and compare them. And so, you know, I do also purchase items. And this is not something that I will be investing in. And here is why. And this is what I had mentioned before. So this is just regular white paper. And you can see that it sheds. Okay, so yes, I do use things as a design team member and I show them to you, but if it's not something that I would necessarily invest in and purchase in, as a design team member, I have to make projects and show them to you, but I always try to give you guys my honest opinion also as a consumer. So these metallic inks are not something that I will be purchasing any other colors in, and this is why, and I mentioned this before, because as you can see, they shed. So you can see here, all three of them, whether it's on black paper or white paper, they shed and they have to be set. So you have to set them either with a fixative spray or clear embossing powder. And so no, I will not be investing in the metallic inks. I will invest in all of her interference inks because you don't really have that with the interference inks. It's very little that they shed with the interference inks. But these metallic inks, no, I don't think that you should have to set your inks. You know, I think that that's just a shame that you have to do that. So you buy what you want to buy, but no, I got these 3 limited edition gold, silver, and copper inks. And you can just see how those colors just rubbed right off right onto my hands. And so if you're going to use these inks, you do have to use a fixative. And I let these dry for an hour. I promise you. I set these an hour ago and they've been drying and they still rubbed right off. So That's my opinion, and I did purchase those with my money. They were not sent to me by Spellbinders. So there we go, guys. So I do love the papers. I will continue to use the papers again for backgrounds, for die cutting, for card bases, and all of that. I probably will occasionally hot foil them and die cut from them, but probably not what I'm going to always hot foil on. I would prefer to use glossy paper if I'm going to do my hot foiling. The Spellbinders specialty paper, or the Spellbinders metallic paper, or glossy papers, even the Spellbinders specialty foil, the foil cardstock will work really well over these papers. So that's where I am with this, but I think they're great papers, and I definitely think you should invest in them for other things and try them out. If you have any questions, post them down below. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to my channel. I just hit 35,000 subscribers, so we are definitely going to be doing some giveaways. Part of that giveaway is we have some foil gift cards that have been donated by Blue Bonnet. I'm going to have some Spellbinders gift cards. I have, I think, a scrapbook.com gift card. I have some gift cards coming from Pink and Main, so lots of good stuff. So make sure you also join us over at the Foiling Snobs Club as well for your chances to win. And if you haven't already, subscribe on Instagram. It's Nancy Stamp 15, and join us over at Reddit as well. I'll have the links down below. Thank you guys so much. If you had fun watching this video, please consider giving me a thumbs up, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.